I'm thinking about this very cliched thing. Also happens to be totally true, and that is that when you've got people in your charge, when you're a manager of people, their career success is your responsibility. It's said a lot of different ways by a lot of different people all the time. You know, when people say, when a CEO says, you don't work for me, I work for you, okay? Truism, but it's so cliched, meaning it gets said so often by so many people in so many different ways that it begins to get dismissed without being applied, right? People say, yeah, and then they don't actually realize the reason why it's so cliched is that it's so tried and true. People have been trying to find different ways to explain it. My way of explaining it is that you have responsibility for their career. If you embrace that, they know it. If you act like you have responsibility for somebody else's career success, they can tell because of the questions you ask them. Okay, it's not like I've seen people do a conversation about sales goals, for example, with a salesperson in their office. And it's like, you're not hitting your goals. Get it going, right? You're not hitting your goals. And the way that comes across, if you're not careful, is the company has set goals for you to the benefit of the company. You're not pulling your weight. Get your shit together. Where the same conversation flip side, when you're actually saying this person's career success is my responsibility, you're saying, first of all, the goals weren't the company's goals. If the goals were not set where they were meaningful to the salesperson, well, then you blew the goal setting experience. That whole exercise was done poorly if it wasn't like, what do you want to achieve? How much did you do this year? Were you happy with that? How much do you want to be doing in 3 years? How exciting is that going to be for your life in 3 years if you achieve that? Now, what does that mean if we track it back to this coming year? Like, what do you got to do in 2019 to achieve this big goal you have for 2022? And if that's important to you, it's important to me. It actually fits in with the company's goals, so we're all aligned. This is awesome. And then you sit down and say, okay, so you're off the track right now. Let's get back on it. Like, I want to try to help. Remember, this goal for the 2019, which boiled back to your goal for the first quarter, which boils back to your goal for January, which boils back to your activities for the week of January 2nd through January 7th, right? You track back that shit from 3-year big exciting goal to 1 week's worth of activity to get you there. Have you been sticking with the activities that you set? Anything I can do to help? You don't seem to be as excited about doing these sales-oriented activities that are going to cause you to be rejected. Understood. Let's work on your confidence. Let's work on your presentation. Let's work on what you say when you contact these people so that you don't have a negative experience, so that you don't mind doing it. You know, whatever. The point is that if you start off in the mindset that you're there because you're responsible for their career success, those conversations always go better. They go right. So don't dismiss something tried and true because it's cliched, or if you do it at your own risk, because these things really, really matter. And I find myself today looking around and saying, wow, this is a large organization now that I have responsibility for. A lot of managers, a lot of sales associates, and it's not overwhelming at all, not even daunting. It's actually, I find it really exciting because I know that when you believe that I'm taking responsibility for your career success, if I do my part right, you're going to feel like your career success just got more likely because somebody else who works hard and has some ability is now taking responsibility for it. That's how stuff takes place.